Cup and card friends, welcome back. It's Linda Z. It's that time to grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and let's do a deck flip through of the Black Cats Tarot. This is a pre-loved deck that I've recently come into my collection that a neighbor was selling, and I am so happy I got this because I don't have any cat decks. And this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. Comes in a glossy tuck box. It says 9 lives under the shadows, 5 lives of true magic, 2 lives for a higher wisdom, 1 life of dreams and journeys, and the final one to start anew. And the Lo Scarabeo comes with a standard small LWB, little white guidebook, and it comes in multiple languages: English, Italian, Spanish, French, German, and Portuguese. And it doesn't give a lot of information on the cards, but it gives you just enough. It tells the story of the cats and why they chose that cat and what it's doing. So I think it is super, super cute. And here is the introduction card. And I just want to say that yesterday I did the Fortunate Frogs deck flip through, and when I look at these cards that come into my collection, because sometimes I don't know what they look like ahead of time, and I might get disappointed with some, or I might like some, or I might hate some, or whatever the case may be. It's okay that we don't like some of the cards in our decks. We don't have to like every single card. It's the same thing with decks. There are certain decks that we buy because there is a certain aesthetic that we like about them. So, you know, whether you like animal decks, or whether you like angel decks, or witchy decks, or goth decks, dark decks, surrealist, whatever they are that interest you, and that's fine. You don't have to like everything. So, you know, when you see that I give my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion on these. You may differ. You may like cards that I don't like, but I respect that. I absolutely respect your opinion. That is your opinion. Everybody's entitled to them. So let's take a look at these cards, which I think are really cute. So here is the introduction card, and here is the back of the card, and I think that's awesome. It's reversible, but it has 2 cats sleeping on the very edges of the branches. And let's take a look at these. And I have a strange feeling that this is going to be a really cute and cheeky deck, kind of those things. So here we have our white cat, our fool, starting a journey. And right off the bat, I could say I already love this because this is a cat and he's walking at night, because we know our little furry friends are nocturnal. He has a book around his neck, and I can't tell if that little friend down here is a baby dragon or a kitten. Another thing that I love about this is seeing that he's coming down this road, and it forks here, but he's still kind of going off on his own little path. Normally, I don't see a lot of forks in the road right on the Fool's card. Normally, they're like walking off the edge of a cliff. So I really like this. I really like that a lot. Okay, so here we have our magician. Whoop. And here we have our high priestess. Now, I always say high priestess instead of Hierophant, or I'll say Hierophant instead of high priestess, so I apologize if I do that. It's just an old person thing because I am an older person, and for some reason those two just, you know, I'm always saying the other one for the other. One of the things that I do like down here is I see a key, and I see all these little shiny objects on here that I just think that's really interesting for unlocking those hidden things, unlocking the subconscious or the unconscious. As she's sitting here at night just loving the moon. Okay, here is our Empress. We have Kitten down here. We have part of a kitten here. We see one leaving there. We see one getting ready to hide, and we see a tail there. So I really like these. I really like the way that you've kind of got to look for all the information in them. So that's really nice. Here is our emperor. It has all these coins laying around on the floor. And here we have our Hierophant, not the high priestess, but the Hierophant. But look at this. He's got his paw with, it looks like a sword, but he's offering the cheese to these two mice. And the book says, the Hierophant represents the spiritual authority, the essence of faith in every undertaking, as long as it is not transformed into fanaticism. This card emphasizes moral strength and the decency of one's behavior, which must be absolute. We must never give in to the temptation of becoming arrogant. That's interesting. Our lovers. Very pretty. Our chariot. I think this is pretty awesome. Strength. And look at the bones of the animals, but here we have the hermit. And he has the candle and he's going on his journey. We see here the aura of higher learning. It says, we are sailing in a small boat. We are immersed in darkness, and a small light is all we have against obscurity. Solitude is fundamental for finding ourselves, provided it does not become depression. Isolation can be necessary, and we must be determined to deal with it. The wheel. And look how this one is blindfolded. And here we have this object that's coming out like it's fanged. See, it looks almost like an Ouroboros where it's swallowing its own tail. That's really interesting. Justice. And look, here's a shark down here. The Hanged Man. That is super, super adorable. I really like this. This is a really cute deck. This is Death. I like how we have someone lurking in the shadows back here. Here we have Temperance. Oh, look at her, the devil. And I'm going to flip over the guidebook, this little white guidebook, so we can keep looking at certain things. I like how she has her little fan, but she's holding her wand. And we have the two skeletons down here. The Tower. Whoop. The Star. This is so nice, seeing that she's watering this and we have growth, the hope, the planting of the seed, all the opportunities that are coming with this. This actually says, the card symbolizes a rebirth that has its roots in love and understanding. The light of the stars illuminates and nourishes our desires, making it possible for them to germinate, flower, and bear fruit to make the world a better place. Love it. That is so pretty. We have the moon. I like, now see, to me, this reminds me of the Hierophant, how we have the black column and the white column. She's not tethered to anything. The sun. Aww. The kittens are just bouncing around on our little sunflower beds. Judgment. and the world. This is so fabulous. Look, she shed her skin. She is coming out. This says the world represents the end and the beginning of each and everything. One cycle has just ended and we're ready to enter a new dimension, stronger thanks to the experiences gained, but at the same time purged of our own psychic baggage. Fantastic. Okay, so now we are in the Cups suit. We have the Ace of Cups. And I love seeing here that it's milk is overpouring. It's not full of water, it's full of milk. We have a river of milk, and that it's an entire family here. That is really nice. The 2, love. 3, this is called generosity. It celebrates the importance of meeting and sharing our joys. 4, just chilling out, relaxing. Excesses end up being nauseating us and depleting our morale. The secret to moving ahead is to always be craving something. 5 of Cups, sadness. 6 of Cups, memory. And look, we see our little bubble, our little thought bubble of maybe he's on a journey and he's just thinking about home and family. 7, they call this illusions. We're on the threshold between 2 worlds, night and day, dreams or daily routine. Where is reality and where is illusion? And here we see the dream state and then the reality, or vice versa. 8, departure, leaving behind. Interesting how they're all up on this tree. 9, reward. Look, he's coming out of this maze. And we have 10, joy. Look, they have wings. That's so cute. Here we have our page, or they call it the knave. This is union. The knight, offer. The knight is a romantic and passionate spirit, but are the gifts he offers his loved one truly selfless? Very interesting. Here is our queen. Okay, here's our queen. And this is called Dream. And I like that we don't see her sitting on her throne. She's dreaming and looking at the stars. I am really digging this deck. Here we have our king, and he is about common sense. And this looks like he is just diligently working and doing the things that a king would normally do, or maybe not. Maybe he's one that likes to take control and do the things himself. So here we're going into Pentacles. So here's our Ace of Pentacles, and this is called self-confidence. Blindness. Wow. Now, I just think this is so great, so fascinating, because not only is he juggling, but he's juggling blindfolded on a unicycle on a road that has so many different options. This is just terrific. This is really, really terrific. 3, work. 4, isolation. And normally, okay, wow. I just noticed this. So isolation, we see here, and he is in his little mound, his hut, his cubby, with all this money. But look, here is our 2. That is so cool. The Arcanum represents avarice and a lack of willingness. What good is wealth and talent if they are not shared? Withdrawing into ourselves can become a cage. Here's 5. This is called the abyss. Reaching the bottom of a situation, feeling depressed and alone is the natural cycle of things. But each time this happens, we're ready to get back on top, enriched with knowledge. 6. This is called a help. And you see here, she has her hand down here helping someone up. 7. Patience. I call this the waiting card, but yes, this has everything to do with patience because you've planted this seed, you're waiting for it to come to fruition, but don't forget that it still takes nurturing and water, and you still have to take care of it. And you can see here how all these other ones, you see here how we have fruit on this one. We just have a few things of fruit on this one. But yeah, that's just terrific. And even here, some of the fruit's fallen off the tree. I think when we looked at the 7 of Pentacles before, the way that the coins were separated was some is for saving, some is for spending, and some was for sharing or something like that. What do you think? The 8. This is called ability. Ability is acquired with experience. That is awesome. 9, humility. And look at all the sharks swimming around. All we can do is abandon ourselves to the current. Fighting now is counterproductive, and using force will turn against us. And 10, stability. What does stability represent? And look at the cat laying in its lap. So here we have the knave, the juggler. We have the knight, farsightedness. And he's looking off into the distance. I see the mountain in the background as challenges. Our queen. Sound administration. We possess qualities and material assets. The queen observes her own treasures and cherishes them. And our king, strategy. Wealth and well-being reinforces one's own identity. And now we're moving into our wands. Our ace of wands. This is called inspiration. Our 2 of wands, discussion. But it looks like they're arm wrestling. This card represents inner and outer conflicts. This is never progress without a struggle. This is called ascent. And it looks like here they're all climbing up the mountain. And we have 3 of them. And this one's made it and they're getting up there. That is pretty interesting. I like the way this deck looks at the cards in different ways. The 4, communication. The 5, struggle. This is about healthy competition, stimulates us to our best and gain a deeper understanding of our very nature. What is important is that everyone proceeds in fairness. So this is about being fair. 6. This is about victory. Normally we would see the laurel. 7. Courage. 8. Hurry. Now, normally we would see 8 wands in the air, showing the just pure energy of moving so quickly. But here we see them standing here, and it says, hurry is poor counsel, but acting promptly can solve many problems. The time necessary to complete a task must be proportionate to the situation. I love that thought. 9, we have danger. And we have one cat here. It's a trap. We have 3 here. We have 1 down here. And 10 is enlightenment. The knave is about the messenger, being the messenger. Here we have impulsiveness. Our queen is welcome. And our king is willpower. And now for the swords. Our ace here is about victory. I see him blowing his horn. We have the sun rising with the clouds in the back though. And look how all this is dead. It says, victory is ours, darkness recedes, and dragons, whether real or imaginary, are defeated. Very interesting. 2 is called truce. 3 is distance. There are moments during which there is no room for communication. Wow, look at that. You can feel that. You know, that separation there. You're so close, but you can feel it miles and miles apart. And you have someone here who's walked away. 4 is pause. Events impose a forced pause. All we can do is reflect on the errors we made and our next moves. 5 is duel. 6 is decision. 7 is action. 8 is fear. Fear blinds the mind and numbs the senses. We mustn't devour ourselves, but rather examine the situation with a resolute mind. 9 is solitude. But look how they've positioned them almost like funhouse mirrors, where every which way you turn, you'll be looking at yourself. This card speaks of solitude. Wallowing in our own sadness will only increase it and immobilize us. We must stop thinking about ourselves. Fabulous. And 10, accomplishment. When we are about to attain what we have always desired, we're often overwhelmed by fear. This is the dark side of desire. Will we cross the threshold or remain outside? The knave, guardian. The knight, break up. Obstacles may arrive in unexpected forms. Following an initial disorientation, we react with courage and resolution. The queen, solidity. And look at how poised she is. This is terrific. And then we have our king, and he is exertion. He is a leader. He is steadfast and has allowed him to become sovereign. The excessive severity which he judges others may tire him. And look, even though here he's sharpening his sword, here we have swords that have been just sitting there growing cobwebs. Fabulous. And here are some other Lo Scarabeo decks. I have this one, the Terror of Magical Forest, that I love. It is a very cheeky, cute, cartoonish kind with these big bug-eyed critters, and it is really awesome. That is a really cool deck. So let's do a tarot reading, shall we? And I shuffled these cards when I was looking at them, placing them down in 4 piles because I don't like to riffle shuffle. I know you've heard me say that a million times. So let's ask Spirit. Oh, let's see if is there any I didn't see any in the guidebook, but let's look. I don't see any spreads in here. Nope, I don't see any spreads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I don't see what the cards would be used for. So we'll just go ahead and do our normal spread. Now, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about different ways to do a card reading and how you're feeling. And one of the things that I have learned to do, and I don't know if you feel that you may feel this way too, is say you're feeling sad and you want to find the 3 of Swords. So what you would do is you would find, say this was the 3 of Swords, and that would be your energy, but look at the card in front of it, and that is what you would leave behind. And the card behind it is, the card behind it is what you leave behind, and the card in front of it is what you need to embrace. So does that make sense? Find a card that meets how you feel. So if you know you are needing strength, so here's your strength card. And then the card in front of it is what you need to embrace. And the card behind it is what you leave behind. So sometimes when you're just not sure about what kind of card to pull or what to ask Spirit, go by what you feel and find the card that resonates with that feeling and then go from there. So let's go ahead and take a look. Ask Spirit, what card do we want to see today? Okay. So then we ask Spirit, why is this here? And how do we handle this? Oh, okay. And I don't know if you can hear my wood wick candle. I absolutely love this candle. I love wood wick candles. I like hearing that crackle of the flame. Can you hear that? It's so peaceful for me. Okay, so we have our moon card. Okay, I'm going to look at what this says about the moon because, like I said, to me this looked more like a high priestess seeing the dark and light of the columns here. And I am a Cancer sign. I'm a moon child. I love the moon. I love intuition. I love going in deep. And it says the Arcanum is linked to the mystery and secrets of the subconscious. Obscurity generates fear and uncertainties, and the card is connected to everything that we do not know and cannot control. Let's allow our instinct to guide us. I love that. So that's where we are. So Spirit is saying, allow our instinct to guide us. So why is this here? We have another archetype. We have another one. This is the Hierophant. This is about teaching. But in the guidebook here, the Hierophant is about representing authority and the essence of faith in every undertaking. We must never give in to temptation of becoming arrogant. And why is this here? We have our Ace of Swords. So this says victory. Victory is ours. Darkness recedes, and dragons, whether... That can't be right. Or is that wands? Inspiration. That's it. That's it looked like a sword, but it's actually a wand. Inspiration. The creative impulse is strong, and optimism and determination which we face life assures results. An inclination towards happiness and great lucidity is resolving problems. So here we're talking about using our instincts. And then here is saying, don't become arrogant. Why is this here? Maybe we're feeling arrogant. Maybe we're feeling a little more than what we should. Maybe we have a big ego. And then how do we handle this? And this is saying about inspiration and being creative, an inclination towards happiness and resolving a problem. Here we see the sun coming up and we have our friends here. So I think this is saying that, this is saying go by instincts. And I'm thinking, I'm seeing a situation that you're in, or that someone is in, that there is someone being in a more authoritative position who is being egotistical. Like, this is the boss and you're the workers, you're the mice. Does that make sense? And one of the things that I see here now that I'm looking at this card, look how there's tree roots here. So this person is rooted in. This person is someone who's been where they've been for a long time, and maybe they feel really comfortable and over satisfied with themselves. And this is saying be creative. You can, I always look at things in different categories, relationship or work or whatever. And with this, I kind of see a work category. But then again, I see someone that we know, somebody that might be older, someone that just feels kind of like full of themselves almost, egotistical, that you're using your intuition. You know how this person is. And I think we're the mice. And this person is the one we need to watch out for. He's not teaching us anything. This person is rooted in their thoughts and their beliefs, which is fine. But you are on a different spiritual path. That's what I'm seeing here, is that you are on a spiritual journey. I think this may sound funny, but one of our viewers is going through some stuff, and I think I'm picking up on her energy, and I think she knows who she is, and she just actually lost a friend from a long relationship, and I think I'm really feeding on her energy, because this is saying use your intuition. She has, and this person really kind of crossed her boundaries and was not as forthcoming as she thought. And this is saying definitely it's time to be creative and continue on your spiritual journey and find your happiness. That's what I'm seeing here. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Hey, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. I still have many more decks to go through to show everyone. And I think, how many did I get? I got 9 decks. And so I think this makes number 3 that I'm going to be showing of pre-loved decks. And remember, decks need love, even if they're pre-loved. Just because someone has it and maybe doesn't resonate with it, or they've grown out of it and they need, they've outgrown the deck and now they don't want it in their collection anymore. Get the deck if you like it. If it's something that piques your interest. Like, I'll be honest, I don't have any cat decks, and I saw the front of the box, and I'm like, that looks really cute. I think I'm going to get that. And I honestly have to say, I am floored with how good these cards are. Even though the guidebook is small, I love how detailed each one of the meanings are. And I like how they are so different. Like, look at this one with the sharks around them. I mean, I never would have thought, I'll be honest, never would have thought that the 9 of Pentacles was about humility. I thought the 9 of Pentacles was more about luxury. I thought the 9 of Pentacles was about, hold on, because I even have my grimoire. Yeah, luxury. I have luxury, accomplished, enjoying the reward, not humility, in swimming with sharks. So I just love a deck that takes me to a different place, and it really helps me think differently and outside of the box. And I think that's what we all look for sometimes in decks, because it helps us grow. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And if you like it, share it. Share it with your friends. You know, these are really awesome decks. Really awesome cards. I really, really like this. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for stopping by. Thank you for giving me this time. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, I really, really do. I mean, I know you may not hear me say it enough, but I do. Every single one of you. So thanks again, and thanks for stopping by. See you tomorrow. Bye.